Chapter 61. You are listening at novelfull.audio. She peed. Yao Yu looked at Lian Xing jokingly. He knew his sister best. She was a person with a deep obsession with cleanliness. She usually dressed herself up like a fairy who was not in touch with the world. This time, she suddenly hugged Li Wuk on a whim, and the result was. He peed on my hand. Lian Xing's pretty face turned from red to white, from white to purple, and from purple to black. Palace Master Lian Xing, you must calm down, take a deep breath, take a deep breath. Hua Xingnu hurriedly patted Lian Xing on the back. I can bear it. Ah, what is this little bastard doing? Lian Xing felt something strange in her chest. She looked down and saw that Li Wuk was rubbing in her arms. Well, he should be hungry. It's just instinct, just instinct. Li Hao looked at Lian Xing's chest and couldn't help but envy and hate Li Wuk. Since the child is hungry, let Madame Li come out to feed the child. Yao Yu suddenly thought of something and said. Sister, Madame Li has just given birth and is weak. It is not a good thing for a woman to be exposed to the wind during the confinement period. Lian Xing hurriedly stopped her. Along the way, Hua Yunu did not find a single hair except for the bodies of Jiang Feng and several bandits. In this place, at this location, a young man from a big family appeared with his wife, who was also pregnant. This was a bit suspicious. The head of that family would take a woman who was about to give birth on a long journey, and he didn't bring any maids or servants with him. Everyone is not a fool, and they can think clearly if they think about it casually. No, if she doesn't want to come out, I will ask her to come out myself. Yao Yu looked at the carriage door with cold eyes. Madam, come out quickly. The boss is hungry. Yen Shun, get out of here. Can you watch the lady feeding the child? Li Hao glared at Yen Shun and cursed. Damn, don't you know what you're talking about? Li Hao just found out that this bastard actually wanted to draw his sword against Yao Yu. Yao Yu is a person with a perception ability beyond ordinary people. If you have the intention to kill her, she will probably know it immediately, then she will let you know what it means for Yao Yu to be very angry, and the consequences will be serious. Yes, sir. Yen Shun turned around and walked to the river with frustration. He knew that Li Hao was doing this to protect him, because he didn't have Li Hao's ability to remain calm when facing a collapse. Madam, I've driven Yen Shun away, come out. Li Hao shouted into the carriage. Okay, husband, I'll come out right away. Hua Yuanu's tone was a little trembling. However, she had just finished giving birth, so it was understandable that she spoke like this. Palace Master Lianxing, it sounds like it's not Sister Yuanu. Hua Xingnu muttered in Lianxing's ear. Don't talk, act according to circumstances. Lianxing rolled her eyes at Hua Xingnu. The carriage door curtain opened, and Hua Yuanu slowly stretched out a smooth arm. Be careful, I'll hold you. Li Hao held Hua Yuanu's arm and helped her out. The eldest is hungry, why don't you let him eat first? Li Hao took Li Wuk from Lianxing's arms and handed him to Hua Yuanu. The second child just finished eating, there's no more, what should I do? Hua Yuanu said with tears in her eyes. She had just given birth, and her milk was not enough. She was just scared by Yao Yue, and she felt that it was empty inside. So where was there anything for the eldest child to eat? Why don't we hurry up and go to the nearby town to ask for 2 wet nurses? The child can't stand without food. Li Hao looked at Li Wuk who was sucking hard, and felt sorry for Hua Yuanu for 3 minutes. Miss, you see, we have to hurry up, it's very dangerous for the child to have nothing to eat. Li Hao looked at Yao Yu and said with embarrassment. It was not easy to meet Yao Yu and Lian Xing, 2 human characters, and Li Hao was a little reluctant to part with them. You go. Be careful on the road, this section of the road is a bit unsafe. Yao Yu thought for a while and said. The woman opposite had no facial features, looks, voice, figure and breath that were not similar to Hua Yuanu at all. She was sure that the other party was not Hua Yuanu. Yen Shun, come here, let's go to the nearby town and find a wet nurse for the young master. Li Hao helped Hua Yuanu back to the carriage and immediately shouted at Yan Shun by the river, "Damn, this Yao Yu is too scary." Li Hao was so scared that he broke out in a cold sweat just now, fearing that Hua Yuanu would reveal a clue and all his efforts would be wasted. "Yao Yu, you stinky bitch, wait for me. When I break through to the Grandmaster level, I will not only hang you upside down in the moon, but also write the word Li upside down." "Okay, Master, let's leave immediately." Yan Shun immediately ran over and jumped get on the carriage and start to drive wildly. "Sister, what should we do? Should we go find Yunu?" Looking at the carriage leaving, Lian Xing asked in a low voice while washing her hands. Lian Xing's hands are probably going to be skinned by boys' urine. "Find this slut, she betrayed Yihua Palace and this palace, she must die." Yao Yu gritted her teeth and said, "Now Jiang Feng is dead, where can Hua Yunu hide?" "Grand Palace Master, we caught a bandit who besieged Jiang Feng and Hua Yunu." In the distance, several Yihua Palace disciples in white clothes ran over with a man wearing a dog-faced mask. "It was you who killed Jiang Feng." Yao Yu looked at the seriously injured Go Xiang and said, "Yes, yes." Go Xiang naturally knew Yao Yu's name and her code of conduct. "If you follow her, she might let you die happily, if you make her unhappy, she will make you live a life worse than death." "Who are you? Who is the mastermind? Where did Hua Yuanu go?" Yao Yu said angrily. Jiang Feng was the first man she loved after all, and he was killed just like that, which made her feel very embarrassed. "We are the 12 constellations, and our elder brother, Rat Xiang, led us brothers to ambush Jiang Feng. The one who gave us the news was Jiang Feng's servant, and Hua Yuanu was rescued." Go Xiang honestly told everything he knew. "Who rescued Hua Yuanu?" Yao Yu asked with a murderous look on his face. "It was Lian Qingbi, the sword master of Wuk Villa. He happened to pass by and rescued Hua Yuanu, and also killed several of our brothers." Go Xiang shouted loudly. He did not beg for mercy, because he knew he would die without a doubt. However, he died without regrets for being able to avenge several dead brothers before he died. "The 12 constellations, Wei Wuya, Hua Yuanu, Lian Qingbi, you all deserve to die." Yao Yu waved her hand, and a strong force spurted out. The dog constellation's body instantly exploded and turned into a ball of minced meat. The dog constellation died tragically, and the Yihua Palace disciples who were guarding him were all splattered with blood. However, no one at the scene dared to say a word. Chapter 62. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Congratulations to the host, for successfully changing the fate of Hua Wuk, the son of destiny, and Jiang Xiaoyu, and completing the main task of the system. The rewards are being counted. Congratulations to the host for obtaining non-attribute internal force *10, De Huan Dan *99, villain value *1000. Congratulations to the host for obtaining a special physique, immune to all poisons. Immune to all poisons. Immune to all poisons. System, extract and fuse internal force. Li Hao silently said in his heart, boom. Li Hao only felt a mysterious force injected into his body from the void, and after circulating in his body for a large circle, it entered the Dantian position in the abdomen. Kacha, a crisp sound rang out, and Li Hao felt that the realm barrier inside his body was instantly broken, and a strong breath burst out from his body. The late stage of the innate has arrived, and Li Hao clenched his fist. Strong, damn. Strong. Li Hao felt that if he used all his strength, the early stage of the Grandmaster would be like a chicken and a dog. System, I feel like you embezzled my reward. Come out and explain. Li Hao closed his eyes, expressionless on his face, but secretly argued with the system in his heart. However, his performance did make Hua Yuanu feel a little touched. In her eyes, Li Hao was respecting her by not peeking at her breastfeeding. Because of the Xiao Huan Dan, her body recovered very well. Li Hao, I never peeked, I always watched openly. Host, do you have any questions? I just want to ask, is Hua Yuanu a member of the Chuanfang Pu? Is there a reward for collecting her? What about the reward? Li Hao muttered in his heart, but his eyes were wide open, staring at the child in Hua Yuanu's arms. Young master, you. Hua Yuanu's pretty face immediately turned red. Okay, I take back what I just said. He didn't peek before, maybe he was tired and wanted to rest. Host, is Hua Yuanu yours now? This kind of widower with 2 children who is being hunted by others will run away at the slightest sign of trouble and leave you. In this case, do you say that the task is completed? The system said calmly, trying to block my bug. No way, fuck, this is not considered a completed task, and you can find such a fresh and unconventional explanation. I surrender to you. Li Hao complained directly. Of course, if the host now forcefully takes action, I will also judge that you have successfully collected the data. System, please be a human being. The system is not a human being, and has no sense of courtesy, righteousness, and shame. Host, I am not a human being. Also, don't make yourself sound so noble. If you have the ability, don't fight with children for food. The system looked at Li Hao's behavior and felt that it was about to crash. He said courtesy, righteousness, and shame, but his body was very honest. Sir, what are you doing? Hua Yuanu's face turned pale. This young master is not going to collect the debt now. What are you thinking about? I tell you, you must always believe in a doctor's professional ethics. In the eyes of doctors, no matter how attractive a person is, they are their patients. Li Hao said seriously. Sir, who is a doctor? Hua Yuanu didn't have the energy to argue with him. The 2 little kids had exhausted her. In the eyes of doctors, I am a patient, but I don't know who I am in your eyes. Doctor, that's what you call a doctor. Li Hao replied, it's really not much, just like the recommended traffic for a novel by a certain eggplant, just a little bit. Sir, what are you doing? Hua Yuanu was full of black lines. Although you are the lifesaver of our mother and 3, you can't torment people like this. Don't think about it, this is a massage of traditional Chinese medicine. Clear it several times a day to ensure that the child will not be hungry. Li Hao said seriously, damn, I have done this much, and the system has not judged that I have completed the task. Sir, we are almost at Xinyang Prefecture. Yan Shan, the driver, glanced at the carriage curtain and said, alas, the young master must be exhausted. Are we there yet? Li Hao stuck his head out from the curtain, his 2 dark circles under his eyes full of joy. Don't get me wrong, this time it's not because of excessive indulgence, it's just that he didn't sleep well this time. After parting with Yao Yu and the others, Li Hao and the others bought 2 wet nurses and 2 maids in a nearby town and hurried to Xinyang. Yes, they bought them. As long as they paid enough silver, they could buy the queen's underwear. With the addition of the wet nurse and the maid who took care of Hua Yuanu, the speed of travel slowed down a lot. However, Hua Yuanu was relieved a lot, but Li Hao had to suffer at night. Li Hao was used to the life of a young master, so he naturally wouldn't sleep in the ordinary carriage at the back, so he could only squeeze in with Hua Yuanu and her mother. However, those 2 guys were very noisy. They kept making a lot of noise all night, and Li Hao was almost exhausted. Stop, the road ahead is blocked, leave immediately. Just as Yan Shun accelerated his car and was about to rush to the city to find an inn for the young master to have a good rest, he was stopped by a group of beggars in ragged clothes. Ha, who are you? You are so brave that you dare to stop our young master's carriage. Do you think we are easy to bully, or do you think that Lao Yan's knife is blunt and can't cut people? Yan Shun sneered and said. Damn, you robbed me, you probably don't know what I did before. My friend, we are from the Xinyang branch of the beggars' gang. We are ordered by our elder, the 10-direction scholar Quan Guanqing, to block this area. Please give me some face and leave. A tall man with 6 sacks hanging around his waist walked out from the beggars' gang disciples and said. You are disciples of the beggars' sect, so everything is fine. Our master Jia and your leader Qiao Feng are sworn brothers, so we are all family. Yan Shun laughed awkwardly. Chapter 63. You are listening at novelfull.audio. You said the person in the carriage is the sworn brother of Boss Qiao. A trace of gloom flashed in the eyes of the beggar's sect disciple, but it was not revealed on his face. Yes, my son and your boss Xiao are indeed sworn brothers. Yan Shun nodded quickly. After all, they are a family. Although the other party was a little rude, he could still forgive them this time for the sake of boss Xiao. Is the person in the carriage Li Xuanhuan, the little Li flying dagger, or Li Hao, the amorous swordsman? The beggar's sect disciple asked, while making a hidden gesture to the subordinates surrounding him. The other disciples looked at each other, and then slowly dispersed. A handful of white powder fell from their sleeves and then floated towards Yan Shun's carriage with the wind. In the carriage is your boss Xiao's third brother, the head of the Gusu Murong family, the amorous swordsman Li Hao. Our son came here this time to give an explanation for the death of your beggar's sect leader Ma Deyuan. Yan Shun replied quickly. So the person in the carriage is the famous Three Wonders young master. I'm so sorry. I wonder if young Master Li is willing to get off the carriage to see him. The six-bag disciple bowed to the carriage. At the same time, a pinch of white powder was sent into the carriage from the curtain when Yan Shun was not paying attention. I, Li Hao, am a small disciple of the beggar's sect. Can you meet me just because you want to? You are not qualified to let me get off the carriage. Either you get out of here and we will go to the Xinyang branch by ourselves, or you call my eldest brother. Otherwise, don't blame me for not being polite to you. Li Hao has never had a good impression of beggars. They have hands and feet, but they don't know how to support themselves. They only know how to sit and eat and wait for death. Like in later generations, many people regard begging as a profession. There is also a special attendance system for going to work and leaving get off work, which makes a society a mess. Moreover, in ancient times, there was a profession called pahuazi, who specialized in stealing other people's children. Li Hao hated this kind of people since he was a child. With the sound of a heavy object falling to the ground, Yan Shun, a burly man, suddenly rolled down from the carriage. Sir, why do I feel weak all over? In the carriage, Hua Yuanu's limbs were also weak and weak all over. Obviously, they were poisoned. Don't be polite, Li Hao, I want to see how you can be so impolite. The six-bag disciple laughed directly, and his subordinates around him also laughed. Brother Hua, I heard that Li Hao would be accompanied by several stunning women when he was traveling around the world. Now he is in our hands. Hee. A wretched-looking beggar gang disciple said to the six-bag disciple with a smile. After Li Hao was captured, his women were allowed to play with us. It is rumored in the world that the women around Li Hao are all stunning. I want to see if the rumor is true today. The six-bag disciple showed an obscene light in his eyes. Beggar, you are so brave that you dare to poison me, Li Hao. If you kill yourself now, I might leave you a whole body. In the carriage, Li Hao's voice was still lukewarm, and no one knew what he was thinking. You were poisoned by my beggar version of cartilage powder, but you don't want to beg for mercy, and you shamelessly asked us to kill ourselves. In this world, except for you, Li Hao, I guess no one dares to say such a thing. The wretched-looking beggar gang disciple said with a smile. Don't talk nonsense with him, go up and chop him into meat sauce for me, tie up the woman temporarily, and we will take her back after we are done. The six-bag disciple said calmly. In addition to getting information, the disciples of the dirty clothes school of the beggar gang are also good at stealing and cheating. The inferior disciples carry some centipedes and poisonous snakes with them, and the general ones carry knockout drugs, while those with good martial arts like them must have cartilage powder. Cartilage powder is a strange medicine, white powder, tasteless. No matter how strong your martial arts skills are, you will be poisoned if you are not careful. The poisoned person will feel sore and weak all over, and those below the master level cannot raise any internal force and cannot move. How is it possible? The six-bag disciple just finished speaking, and saw that the several disciples who went up to tie people flew back instantly. Several alert disciples wanted to catch them, but they were smashed to the ground one by one. A group of people rolled together and lay on the ground motionless. Brother Hua, the brothers are all dead. The wretched-looking beggar gang disciple went up to check the breath of the disciples on the ground and found that they were all dead. Li Hao, you have obviously been poisoned by cartilage powder. how could you be fine? Brother Hua, a six-bag disciple, looked at the carriage in horror and said with all his strength. Just now, you said you would take my woman back to play slowly, right? Li Hao lifted the curtain, jumped to the ground, and walked in front of Brother Hua, said softly. Ah. Before he finished speaking, the wretched Huazi screamed, hugged his crotch, and fell to the ground, rolling around, leaving a mess on the ground. Li Hao, what do you want to do? I am a disciple of the Beggars sect, and the elder Quan Guanqing, the 10-direction scholar of the Beggars sect, is my brother. If you dare to attack me, you will be the enemy of the entire Beggars sect. Brother Hua, a six-bag disciple, swallowed his saliva when he saw the miserable state of his follower. It's too miserable. This kid just wanted to play with someone else's wife, but now he can't even touch his own wife when he goes back. Quan Guanqing. Li Hao blinked and asked curiously. Yes, Quan Guanqing is my brother. He has a very good relationship with the elders of the Beggars sect. In addition, he has made great contributions in exposing Xiao Feng's chitin identity this time, and he is the most powerful contender for the leader of the Beggars sect. You are Xiao Feng's sworn brother, and you also killed our deputy leader Ma Deyuan. According to the rules of the sect, you will be hunted down to death. If you let me go today, I can ask my brother to forgive your sins and not hold you responsible. Brother Hua saw that Li Hao stopped his actions and thought that he knew his brother's name, and he began to be arrogant again for a while. You said Xiao Feng is a chitin, so who is your leader now, and where did Xiao Feng go? Li Hao asked directly. No, I don't know. Xiao Feng resigned from the position of leader and left, and our candidate for leader has not yet been decided. But my brother is very prestigious in the gang and has the highest voice. Brother Hua said honestly. Since you don't know anything, you are not very useful. As soon as Li Hao finished speaking, Brother Hua saw a flash of cold light, and his crotch was cold, and then a burst of pain came, and finally he fainted gorgeously. Yan Shun, you are a bandit leader after all, how can you be so useless and be knocked down by a few beggars? Li Hao looked at Yan Shun lying on the ground and unable to move and said unhappily. Yan Shun almost got internal injuries after hearing this, who knew that these beggars would poison. But how come the master was not hurt by such a powerful poison? Chapter 64. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Young master, how do we deal with these two beggars? After taking the herb pill, Yan Shun immediately got up and punched and kicked Brother Hua and the other man. Damn it, you beggars, you have no martial ethics, you secretly poison people, and you use all kinds of despicable means. When I, Yan Shun, robbed people, I relied on my real strength. Although I was wiped out by you in the end, I lost with honor. Amitba, this donor, these two friends of the Beggars sect are already seriously injured, do you still want to kill them all? A Buddhist chant came from a distance, and Yan Shun immediately stopped swinging his knife. Yo, what good day is today? These are beggars and monks. Do you want to hold a gathering of unemployed vagrants in the martial arts world? Li Hao said with a cold face, once you meet a monk or a nun, I guarantee that you will lose every time you gamble. Li Hao didn't like these unemployed vagrants since he was a child. What's more, a group of big bald heads with shiny heads suddenly appeared in front of you, and the old monk who led them started to criticize you. Of course, nuns like Yi Lin who are gentle, beautiful, and petite are another matter. How dare you be so rude to my Shaolin monks? Are you bullying me, Shaolin, because there are no people? A middle-aged monk wearing yellow monk's robes and with thick eyebrows and big eyes beside the old monk shouted loudly. Who dares to hurt the lives of my Beggars sect disciples here? As soon as the middle-aged monk finished speaking, a large group of beggars ran out of the woods. Sir, why don't you take your wife and my young master away first, and I will cover you. Yan Shun drew his sword and stood in front of Li Hao, whispering. My husband, your body skills are unmatched. You take Wu Kei and Xiao Yu away, and I will stop them. Hua Yuenu also got off the carriage and stood beside Li Hao. However, because she was disguised by Li Hao, she only revealed an ordinary female face. What are you afraid of? These are just scoundrels. I don't take them seriously, young master. Li Hao smiled and put his arm around Hua Yuanu's soft waist, kissed her on the forehead and said, in the group of Huazi, a middle-aged man dressed as a scholar ran out and checked the two dead and seriously injured disciples on the ground. Seeing Li Hao's killing method, he felt a chill behind his back. Young master, who are you? Why are you so vicious and kill dozens of my beggar gang disciples? After the inspection, the scholar immediately shouted loudly. Brother, you have to avenge me. My ding-ding balls are gone. Woo-woo. Brother Hua, who was severely injured by Li Hao's sword, cried sadly in Quan Guanqing's arms. Don't cry, brother will definitely avenge you. Brother Hua was about to speak, but he felt a numbness in his temples, and his body softened, and there was no life anymore. I wanted to spare your life, but you played too many roles. Li Hao pursed his lips and said to Brother Hua's body. Evil villain. Quan Guanqing swallowed his saliva and dared not speak. Li Hao's killing methods were too weird, and he was moody and would never say anything if he could do it. I can't afford to offend such a person. Fortunately, the target of his killing was my younger brother. Ba, I wonder what your relationship is with Dongfang Bubi of the Sun and Moon sect. The group of monks who had originally seen the main person coming and were ready to watch the show suddenly found that Li Hao's methods were a bit familiar. Who the hell are you? Do I know you? What does my feud with the beggars sect have to do with you bald donkeys? You've been nagging since you showed up. If you have the guts, do it. Except for the monks sweeping the floor in the sutra library, the rest of you Shaolin masters are just in name only. Even your three uncles who locked themselves up and dared not go out after losing are all garbage. Sorry, I'm not talking about you, but you. Li Hao's words directly made the people of Shaolin and the beggars sect autistic. Even the usually easygoing Master Kongji frowned. Husband, stop scolding. There are so many of them, we can't afford to offend them. Hua Yuanu was frightened by Li Hao's words and quickly grabbed the corner of his clothes, fearing that Li Hao would rush over and spit on the monk's bald head. This donor, you've gone too far. We in Shaolin don't cause trouble, but we're never afraid of it. Our Buddha is merciful and saves all living beings, but there are also angry Vitra, and the Buddha's Dharma protectors all have the ability to subdue demons and monsters. The old monk leading the Shaolin team said with displeasure. Bullshit, you Shaolin don't cause trouble, then what are you doing with this large group of people? The Mingjiao Guangmingding is so far away from you, how can it bother you? Are you going there for a picnic? It's really fun to curse people, even these little caras want to be real with your uncle. When I was at my peak, I fought with a few online trolls for a whole day without losing the upper hand, but in the end, the other party couldn't hold on any longer and admitted lost and ran away. You guys who only know how to sit in meditation and chant sutras, and you want to fight me, I'll let you scold for 10 minutes. The people of the Mingjiao act strangely and ruthlessly, and everyone can kill them. What's wrong with us going to kill demons and uphold justice? A group of monks were scolded by Li Hao and became autistic. In the end, it was the middle-aged monk with thick eyebrows and big eyes who stood up and spoke. This man with such unique eyebrows should be the monk Kong Xing, who is famous for his Shaolin dragon claw hand. Li Hao smacked his lips and said. That's right, I am Kong Xing. Poor monk, are you poor? Your monk's robe is made of brocade, right? One piece should be worth no less than 100 taels of gold. Am I right? Li Hao asked back. This, I don't know. Kong Xing did not lie, he really didn't know. He is a martial arts fanatic and has a high status in Shaolin. All his food, clothing and daily expenses are paid by his disciples and grandchildren. As for the value, he knows nothing. Do you know how much the food, clothing and daily expenses of an ordinary farmer's family in my Central Plains are in a year? Those ordinary people's families don't eat or drink for a year, but they can't earn a single sleeve of yours. Li Hao looked at Kong Xing and said contemptuously. Although Li Hao is ruthless and both good and evil, he is telling the truth this time. The person who spoke was a nine-bag elder of the beggar gang. The people of the beggar gang are all evolved from the bottom of society, so they naturally know how much the total income of farmers is in a year. Quan Guanqing, Elder Chuan Gong, the monk is from our side, please don't undermine him. What a sharp-tongued person you are. How much is the monk's robe worth? I will check it out when I return to Shaolin. If it is true as you said, I will confess in front of the Buddha. However, what we are discussing today is your insult to Shaolin. We will talk about the rest later. Of course, you have to wait until later to talk about it. Kong Xing secretly made up his mind that he would definitely use more force later to shut Li Hao's mouth forever and never say another word. Chapter 65. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Well, that's right, we should have started a fight a long time ago. It's said that the dragon claw hand of the divine monk Kong Xing is the best in the world, and he can break monuments and shatter stones as easily as cutting tofu. Today, I, Li Hao, will use my family's unique skills to learn from you. Li Hao sneered, damn, you are all so sanctimonious, and you are going to fight if you can't win. You monks with 6 impure roots are far inferior to the gentleman's sword Yubuchuan in terms of the degree of gentleman's way. Although Yubuchuan is a bit effeminate, he is a gentleman until his death. Monk, I will learn from your Gusu Murong family's unique skill, Dozhuan Xing Yi. This time, Kong Xing learned his lesson and dared not call himself a poor monk anymore, for fear that Li Hao would make trouble again. Who told you that I was going to use Dozhuan Xing Yi? My family has a deep learning background, how can you monks compare to it? Li Hao looked at Kong Xing with contempt. As for you, apart from being a little senior in Shaolin, what else can you do? On the top of Guangmingding, even Zhang Wuji, who had just mastered the great shift of the universe, couldn't beat him, and he wanted to fight me. Let's do it. Kong Xing made a starting move of the dragon claw hand, and a strong momentum burst out from him. Then I'll try your dragon claw hand. Li Hao also made a starting move. Soon, Li Hao and Kong Xing were fighting hard. As the battle intensified, the speed of the two people's fighting became faster and faster. In the eyes of ordinary people, only a series of afterimages were left. Monk Kong Xing regretted fighting Li Hao a little. When they just started fighting, Li Hao's movements were obviously a little rusty. He looked like a beginner. But as time went on, Kong Xing was more and more surprised and frustrated. What kind of dragon claw hand is this? It's too mean. Shaolin dragon claw hand is known for its ferocity. A master of dragon claw hand can directly break a 100-tempered steel knife with one claw. If it is caught on a person, the consequences can be imagined, but Li Hao's dragon claw hand is different. Although it is also fierce and powerful, the part it attacks, the difference between Li Hao's dragon claw hand and Shaolin dragon claw hand is that he only attacks a few acupuncture points on the human body, such as Ruzhong Point, Rugan Point, Tianxi, Xiongxiang, Burong, Shidu, Tanzhong, Shenfeng. Anyway, the attack direction is the small area on the chest. If I am not careful, I may be ripped open by him. However, the people around me were a little confused when they saw Li Hao's actions. Is this a dragon claw hand? This is clearly Lushan's claw. I didn't expect Li Hao to be so vulgar that he didn't even let a big monk go. Bah, you filthy bastard, you're talking about Chinese medicine massage, but you're obviously using me to practice. Seeing the moves Li Hao used, Hua Yuanu blushed. The dragon claw hand moves that Li Hao used to fight Kong Xing were exactly the same as the ones he used to dredge the mammary glands on himself, but they seemed gentle and considerate on himself, but a bit ruthless on Kong Xing. Bang in the air, Kong Xing and Li Hao fought a claw, then immediately separated and returned to the monk group. Master's dragon claw hand is indeed extraordinary, Li Hao admires it. Li Hao bowed his hands. Li Hao was telling the truth. Kong Xing's dragon claw hand was indeed unique, fierce and powerful, with endless changes. Moreover, the dragon claw hand, which was famous for its offensive power, was used in Kong Xing's hands, which was both offensive and defensive, making Li Hao feel like a dog biting a hedgehog and having no way to bite it. Your dragon claw hand is also extraordinary, a little, unique. I, a monk, admit that I am not as good as you. Kong Xing looked down at his chest and said aggrievedly, "Damn, who taught this kid kung fu? It's so damn vulgar. The last move can obviously tear out a person's heart and lungs, but in the end, it just grabbed two large pieces of clothes on his chest. Fortunately, he is a man. If he were a woman, he would probably commit suicide out of shame. Kong Xing, there are many hidden dragons and crouching tigers in the world, and there are many masters. This time, Mr. Li showed mercy and spared your life. Don't be so reckless next time." The old monk who led the team said to Kong Xing. His junior brother is good in everything, but he is too impatient. He solves everything with force, to put it nicely, it's called honesty, to put it bluntly, it's stupid, simple-minded, strong limbs, and simple mind. Yes, senior brother, Kong Xing knows I was wrong. Kong Xing seemed a little aggrieved. I am obviously a master in the late stage of the Grandmaster, why didn't I just slap this guy to death? I even fought with him and almost capsized in the gutter. Also, that guy showed mercy. It was obviously my golden bell protector that protected me, plus the Grandmaster's protective chi that blocked this move. If it were someone else, he would have been caught and his intestines pierced and his stomach would have been rotten, and he would have died. However, this Li Hao is really strange. The internal force in his body is moderate and peaceful, and it is continuous, which is obviously a Taoist secret. The total amount of internal force in his body is not much less than that of this guy. How much less is the late Grandmaster, but why is the realm he showed still the late Xiantian? Is he pretending to be a pig to eat the tiger? This man is so dishonest, so insidious. Li Hao, you killed more than 10 disciples of my beggar's sect for no reason. After we arrived, you still committed the crime in front of us and killed the person involved. Shouldn't you give an explanation for this matter? The elder who had previously spoken out for Li Hao to criticize Kong Xing immediately scolded Li Hao and others when he saw them stop. Senior, I don't know your name and what position you hold in the beggar's sect. Li Hao glanced at the old beggar and found that it was the one who had argued with Kong Xing with him before, so his tone was a little polite. I am Lv Zhang, the elder of the beggar's sect. The old beggar bowed. Elder of the beggar's sect, what do you mean by me killing your beggar's sect disciples for no reason? Everyone in the world knows that I, Li Hao, kill people based on my mood. If they don't let me be happy or angry, why would I kill them? Li Hao asked back. You mean they offended you? The elder who passed on his skills was not a fool, so he could naturally hear the trick. Li Hao was a sworn brother who helped Xiao Feng before, and according to common sense, he would not conflict with the disciples of the beggar's sect. Moreover, Xiao Feng's resignation as the leader of the sect happened not long ago, and Li Hao would not risk making things difficult for his elder brother by killing the beggar's sect. You want to know, isn't there another living person there? Wouldn't you know everything if you ask him? Damn it, let me explain it to you, you are not qualified. What's your name? Beside the elder who passed on his skills, a middle-aged man with a serious expression walked up to the wretched man who had been physically treated by Li Hao and asked. My name is Wu Ji. The wretched man said while enduring the heart-wrenching pain. He paused when he said the word Wu Ji, and tears could not stop flowing out. Dad, why did you give me Wu Ji when you can't give me any other name? Now, your son is really dead, and the 3 generations of the Wu family's incense is completely cut off this time. After hearing his name, the beggar's sect disciples present had strange expressions, and the air was filled with wisps of sadness. Chapter 66. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Wu Ji, tell me what happened before and how you and Li Hao had a conflict. Don't think about lying to get away with it. I believe everyone knows my methods. The middle-aged man Bai Shijing said. Bai, elder Bai, I. Wu Ji was so scared when he heard the name that he almost couldn't hold his urine. Bai Shijing is the law enforcement elder of the beggar gang. He is serious and rigid. He uses the rules of the beggar gang to restrain his disciples. If anyone violates the rules, the consequences will be very, very serious. Don't be afraid of threats. Just tell the truth. If I find out that you dare to deceive us, I will let you know the horror of the rules. Bai Shijing looked at Wu Ji and said. Elder Bai, I am the second bag disciple of the Xinyang branch. I am a good brother with Brother Hua, the younger brother of the deceased Elder Quan Guanqing. Last night, Brother Hua came to us and said that Elder Quan Guanqing asked us to set up a checkpoint on the official road outside the apricot forest to stop. Wu Ji trembled and told the whole cause and effect of the matter. As for the reason why he was shivering, whether it was because of pain or fear, only he knew it. When he finished speaking, the whole truth was revealed. After speaking, Wu Ji turned his head and looked at Quan Guanqing. Quan Guanqing, you blocked the road, poisoned Li Hao, and robbed his woman, and you turned back to look at me. Wu Ji, I'm not looking at you. I want to see if the silver needle in Li Shaoxin's hand has been retracted. It's too scary. Amitba, Mr. Li, Kongji apologizes for the previous unwarranted accusations against you. Please forgive me. The old monk leading the Shaolin team shouted a Buddhist name, then clasped his hands together and saluted Li Hao. Kongji regretted it very much. He always thought that the beggars' gang were mostly righteous people. Li Hao committed the crime in front of him, and he preconceived that Li Hao was a bad person. Who knew that the beggars' gang acted so despicable, blocking the road, poisoning, and wanting to kill people and rape people's wives and daughters. This behavior is no different from the evil ways of the devil. Forget it, forget it. I have always been a great man who does not remember the faults of a villain. Alas, the world laughs at me for being too crazy. I laugh at others for not seeing through me, not knowing the tombs of the heroes of Wuling, and hoeing the fields without flowers and wine. Li Hao looked up at the sky. He also wanted to write a poem to express his dissatisfaction after being wronged. Unfortunately, he was uneducated and did not want to travel the world with a sentence of wow, so he had to plagiarize a poem from Brother Bo who, I am being polite to you. What does it mean that you add a sentence of great man who does not remember the faults of a villain to me? Isn't this pointing at a bald man and scolding a monk? Wait, am I not a monk myself? This guy is clearly calling me a villain in a roundabout way, and I am speechless. The old monk Kong Zhihui was speechless and stood aside and stopped talking to avoid being hit again. Wu Ji, what you said is true. Bai Shijing was so angry that veins on his forehead popped out. This group of people really went too far. If it were me, I might be even more ruthless than Li Hao. Elder Quan, save me. Brother Hua asked me to do this. I'm just an ordinary second bag disciple. I have no say in front of Brother Hua. Woo woo. Wu Ji burst into tears. Quan Guanqing, Elder Quan, please explain why you asked the people from the Xinyang branch to block the entrance and exit roads outside the Xingzilin. We are the beggars' gang, not bandits. Bai Shijing ignored Wu Ji's crying and turned to Quan Guanqing to ask. Bai Shijing is the law enforcement elder and has the right to ask Quan Guanqing. If I say that I did it all for the brothers in the gang, would you believe it, Elder Bai? Quan Guanqing said awkwardly, I didn't expect that my younger brother was so unreliable. Even if Li Hao didn't kill him before, I wouldn't let him go afterwards, and this Wu Ji, stupid, dragged himself into the water after the incident. Why didn't Li Hao kill him too, so that there would be no evidence and it would be over? Ahem, I heard rumors before that Shaoli Flying Dagger Li Xuanhuan and amorous swordsman Li Hao were sworn brothers of the former leader Qiao Feng. In order to reveal the true identity of the former leader Qiao Feng, we did too much work. In order to prevent our beggars' gang conference from being affected, I asked my brother to block the outer roads. Now everyone knows the identity of the former leader Qiao Feng, and his identity as a chitin can be confirmed. If Hua Di and others had not stopped Li Shaoxia from entering the Xingzilin, with Li Shaoxia's character that can't tolerate any sand in his eyes, I estimate that he would be used by someone with ulterior motives. In that case, our beggars' gang conference would not be so smooth. Quan Guan cleared his throat and stated his reasons. Elder Quan is worthy of being a scholar of 10 directions. He came up with this excuse in a short time, and the people of the beggars' gang thought about it carefully and actually felt that he was right. Li Hao is a person who starts to act before he finishes his 3 sentences. He is an unstable factor wherever he goes. Young Master Li, it's all my fault. I doted on my brother too much, which led to what happened today. Fortunately, you killed him today. otherwise I really don't know if I can make up my mind to punish him. Thank you very much for this. Li Hao bowed. A real man can bend and stretch. My bow today does not mean that the matter is over. The hatred of killing my brother is irreconcilable. One day I will pay you back. Well, that's how it is. It's not easy to be your brother. So, I have helped you a lot. Let's do this. You don't have to thank me too much, just pay a few 100,000 taels of silver. I am a person who is greedy for money. When I see silver, I can forget all the unhappy things. Li Hao waved his hand and said generously. Puff Li Wuck, who was drinking milk in the arms of the nanny, spurted out a mouthful of milk. This man is too shameless. He killed someone's brother and asked for compensation. There is probably no one else in the world who can do this except Li Hao. Young Master Li, I am just a poor beggar. Where can I get so much money? Quan Guanqing was dumbfounded. He just pretended to apologize to Li Hao in front of the gang members to win everyone's favor, but he didn't expect that he would ask for compensation. Is that so? Then I don't have the final say on this matter. After all, I am also the head of the Gusu Murong family. My subordinates have at least 99,000 if not 100,000. I will ask them to discuss the specific compensation with you later. Li Hao waved his hand and said indifferently. Sir, I will pass the message back immediately and ask the family to send a master to protect the lady and the young master. Yan Shun has been following Li Hao for so long, so his eyesight has naturally improved a lot. As soon as Li Hao finished speaking, Yan Shun took out a bird cage from the carriage. There were 2 white pigeons in it. They were handed to him by the butler before he left, to convey information. Chapter 67. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Wait a minute, young Master Li, we can discuss the compensation slowly. Quan Guanqing was dumbfounded. What kind of trick was this? He was so strong, but why did he pretend to be weak? He made us beggars' disciples look like the bad guys who were unforgivable. Also, it was our beggars' sect that suffered in this matter. More than a dozen disciples died, even my brother died, and you actually rang the bell to call for help. Is it really appropriate for you to do this? My time is very valuable. If I'm too slow, I will charge you for lost work. Li Hao frowned and said. Young Master Li, don't worry, we will have a meeting to discuss it immediately. Quan Guanqing acted very humble. He had to be humble. This Li Hao was a shit-stirring stick, a disgusting shit-stirring stick. Okay, we will rest in Xinyang Prefecture tonight. You can just send the things over after you have discussed it. Li Hao was too lazy to talk nonsense with them. The beggars' sect with Xiao Feng is the largest gang in the world. Without Xiao Feng, the beggars' sect is stronger than the Chao gang and the Salt gang. Master Li, your methods are similar to those of Dongfang Bubi, the leader of the Sun Moon sect. I wonder if there is any connection between them. The old monk leading the Shaolin team suddenly said. Why, Master Kongwen has a grudge against Dongfang Bubi. Speaking of Dongfang Bubi, Li Hao thought of her beautiful face again. What a waste. Both the Sun Moon sect and the Ming sect belong to the demon sect. As soon as the news that Amei summoned the 6 major sects to besiege Guangmingding came out, Dongfang Bubi of the Sun Moon sect threatened to eliminate the Tao and defend the demons, and fight to the death with the righteous way. Master Kongji smiled bitterly. The Ming sect alone made them a little tired, and then Dongfang Bubi, a troublemaker, appeared, which made the 6 major sects a little bit difficult to get off the tiger. The overall strength of the Sun Moon sect is not much worse than that of the Ming sect. Dongfang Bubi is a master at the peak of the Grandmaster level, and he also has a flying needle skill that kills people invisibly. He is simply a human nuclear bomb. Then why are you looking for me? Dongfang Bubi is fighting to the death with your 6 major sections. What does it have to do with my Murong family? I have nothing to do with Dongfang Bubi. Li Hao waved his hand, and the meaning was very clear. Don't try to trick me into fighting with you. Then what about Li Shaoxia's flying needle skills? Master Kongwen's old face was a little embarrassed. Skills are the things that people in the martial arts world rely on to make a living. It seems a bit against the morality of the martial arts world to ask about it rashly. You are talking about this. Li Hao took out a silver needle and said, since Hengyang City used a cow hair needle to kill Ling Huchong, Li Hao felt that this thing was becoming more and more handy, so he prepared a few more bags, long, short, thick, thin. There is only what you can't think of, but there is nothing that he doesn't have in his pocket. Yes, that's it. Can Li Shaoxia tell us how to crack this flying needle? Master Kongji was ecstatic. If he knew how to crack it, fewer people would die in the future when facing Dongfang Bubi. The solution is very simple. But why should I tell you? Yen Shun, let's hurry up, let's go into the city, young master, I'm starving. Okay, young master, sit tight, drive. As the sound of the carriage wheels became smaller and smaller, only the beggar gang disciples who were looking at each other and Kong Ji with a flushed face were left outside the Xingzilin, plus a group of monks who had already crashed. Li Hao, you are too much. Master Kong Ji's mouth twitched, and he finally said softly. At the same time, a trace of blood flowed from the corner of his right face. Senior brother Kong Ji. Kong Xing was shocked. He didn't expect that his senior brother who was calm in the face of a collapse in front of him was actually injured by Li Hao and vomited blood. A bastard is not worth discussing with. Hearing Kong Xing calling him, Kong Ji came back to his senses and finally managed to say a word. Two divine monks, why don't you come with the masters to rest at our Xinyang branch of the beggars' gang? The beggars' gang disciples looked at each other, unexpectedly. Li Hao was so terrifying that even the famous Shaolin monks were so angry that they vomited blood. In the end, Quan Guanqing stepped forward and invited everyone from Shaolin, which saved everyone from embarrassment. Oh no, someone is killed. Li Hao's carriage had just entered the Cine mansion, and a man covered in blood ran out of a fur and medicinal herb store on the street in the mansion. Yihua Palace is doing business, please get out of the way. With a delicate shout, a sword flashed, and the man's head and body were instantly separated. Wow, I didn't expect that in a big city like Xinyang, the people's customs are so fierce, it's really rare. Li Hao stood on the edge of the carriage window, looking at this scene a little dumbfounded. Sir, be careful. The murderer is a disciple of Yihua Palace, and the leader is Princess Yaoyue's confidant, Yingnu. Huayuanu was frightened by Li Hao's actions and hurriedly pulled holding the corner of Li Hao's clothes. He said, when doing things in Yihua Palace, no one is allowed to gossip about others. Of course, if your neck is harder than a fine steel sword, you can give it a try. So it's Miss Yaoyue's people, no wonder she is so domineering. Miss Yaoyue is worthy of being a leading figure in the feminist world. She can kill people and make others dare not say a word. Li Hao said with a smile. It is precisely because of this that Yulang is unwilling to stay in Yihua Palace. We will be forced to flee to the rivers and lakes, and Yulang will die in a foreign land, and his body will not be left. Speaking of the sad part, Huayuanu's mood became a little depressed. Why, you think of sad things. You just need to remember one thing now, Huayuanu will be my Li Hao's woman in the future, the lady of the Li family. With this identity, Wuk and Xiaoyu will have a good future in the future, otherwise, you know my methods. Li Hao said with a cold expression, thinking about other men in front of me, you think I, Li Hao, have no temper, right? No matter who it is, you are not allowed to think about it, even if the other person is dead. Mental cheating is the same as physical cheating. System, I miss the father of my child, and you, a bully, actually have an opinion. Yes, husband, Yunu knows. Huayunu felt a chill on her back and replied immediately, Yu Lang Jiangfeng is dead, and there is no need for her to take 2 children to be buried with him. She knows who Li Hao is. If she angers him, Wu Kei and Xiao Yu will definitely not survive. Sir, we have arrived at the inn. Do you want to come down and rest with your wife? Yen Shun stopped the carriage at the door of the largest inn in Xinyang Prefecture. Go down. As long as you abide by the rules of being a woman, I will not treat you and the two children badly. Also, you will be called Hua Guzi from now on. The name you knew cannot be used. Your appearance cannot be restored for the time being. You can only wait until you return to the family in the future. Li Hao lifted Hua Yunu's chin, lowered his head and gave her a fierce French kiss on her lips. Yes, I understand. My name from now on will be Hua Guzi. For the sake of her child, Hua Guzi shed tears of humiliation. Chapter 68. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Tongfu Inn, no way. Li Hao stood at the door of the inn, looking at the sign on the lintel, speechless. Sir, how many people are there? Do you want to stop by or stay overnight? As soon as Li Hao entered the door, a waiter ran over. Prepare 2 tables of food for me first, and serve me all the signature dishes. Then prepare 4 connected upper rooms for us. If you get it done, the young master will reward you. Li Hao threw a silver ingot into the child's hand. Okay, young master, please sit down first, and I will definitely prepare everything for you. The waiter looked at the silver ingot in his hand, and his eyes immediately turned red. Local tyrants, rich young men, big money owners, mommy, this is a pure silver ingot. Just this ingot of silver is enough to buy a purple ordinary woman in the market to live on. Hey, 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 get out of the way. A shrill voice sounded, and a wretched middle-aged man passed by Li Hao. This is... Li Hao felt a lightness on his waist, and the silk purse with gold thread made by Ning Zhongzi disappeared. So it's a thief. Humph, you dare to steal my wallet. I'm afraid you'll have the life to take it, but not the life to spend it. Li Hao sneered, there are only a few people in the whole world who have practiced Maya Shikonkingkong to this level. This man looks so wretched, he must not be Chu Liuxiang or Xiao Xialong, so his identity is obviously Kong Zhaixing. The middle-aged man felt a chill on his back, looked around, didn't find anything unusual, and continued to look for the next target. At this time, several girls in white gauze skirts and palace dresses holding long swords came in at the door. Oh, I didn't expect to meet an acquaintance again. Li Hao was secretly happy, and the opportunity for revenge came. Husband, why don't we change an inn? Hua Yuanu's legs began to weaken when she saw the few people coming in. What are you afraid of? I'm here. Li Hao put his arm around her waist and whispered in her ear. You're not that. The leading palace-dressed woman walked in front of Li Hao, frowning, obviously thinking about something. Palace Master Lianxing, we meet again. Where is Miss Yaoyue? Li Hao stretched his neck and stood on tiptoe to look behind Lianxing and the others, but Miss Yaoyue didn't see it. She only saw the snow-white necks of several women, especially Lianxing's, with a silk ribbon hanging on her neck. Oh, I remember. You are the young man I met in the canyon a few days ago, the father of the stinky boy Wuk. Lianxing slapped her head and said loudly, damn. Li Hao only felt a flock of crows flying by, and his head was full of black lines. You didn't remember me, such a handsome little brother, but you remembered a little kid who peed on you. If a man is not bad, women will not love him. The ancestors are not deceiving me. Oh my God, is this the effect of the protagonist's halo? Thinking of this, Li Hao glanced at Lianxing, who took Li Wuk from Huayuanu's arms, and couldn't help but tightly grasp the bag of goddess falling in love with me in his hand. But thinking about the strength of Ihua Palace and the horror of Miss Yaoyue, Li Hao quietly took the things back. Please make way. The wretched voice sounded again, and the middle-aged man who had already entered the hall turned back and prepared to leave the inn. If you don't do stupid things, you won't die. I was going to deal with you later, but I didn't expect you to bump into me. Being considerate and skillful, Li Hao activated these 2 master-level skills at the same time, and then quietly took a step back. Slut, what did you do to me? With a delicate shout, the shadow slave of Ihua Palace who had killed people on the street before drew out his long sword and pointed at the wretched middle-aged man from a distance. Slut, where is the slut? The women of Ihua Palace drew their long swords one by one. Ingnu, what's going on? Lianxing hugged Li Wuk and looked at Ingnu curiously, whose face was flushed and whose chest was heaving. Palace Master Lianxing, this man is shameless and frivolous to me. Please stop him for me. I want to kill him with my own hands. Ingnu's face was full of frost, and her eyes were full of murderous intent when she looked at the middle-aged man. Ingnu grew up in Yihua Palace since she was a child. She has always served Yaoyue and often handled some extraordinary things for Yaoyue. In terms of the number of murders, Yaoyue can't compare with her. At the age of more than 20, she has never suffered such a big loss as today. Just now, the wretched man passed by her and just touched her, but, a breeze blew, and Ingnu only felt a coolness on her chest, and the small clothes she wore inside disappeared without a trace, magically disappeared. Hey, you bitch, don't slander me. I didn't even touch you, how could I flirt with you? The middle-aged man is also a man who is not afraid of things. I just stole your silver bag because I was itching to steal it, but I didn't steal your body. Why do you call me a lecher? As a pure thief, Xikong Zhaixing enjoys stealing people's money and teasing others. And because he is so magical that he can't catch anyone, he is called a thief by the gossipers in the world. He has been in the world for decades and has never failed, except for his good friend Lu Xiaofeng, but Xikong Zhaixing has his principles. He can steal money, but he never steals women's chastity. This time he was caught stealing by a woman, which made him feel embarrassed. Unexpectedly, the other party was so aggressive and said that he flirted with her. If this matter gets out, where will his old face be? If Lu Xiaofeng with 4 eyebrows knows about it, he will laugh at himself for the rest of his life. You still dare to be stubborn. Do you think I don't know what you did just now? You dare to do it but not take responsibility. You are unworthy of being a man. Ingnu was extremely angry. If it weren't for the empty chest, and the worry that the rabbit inside would be unrestrained when he took action, jumping up and down and losing face, Xikong Zhaixing would have been dead by now. What did I do? Didn't I just take the silver bag from your waist? I dare to do it and take responsibility. I never shirk what I did, and I never admit what I didn't do. Don't think of making me take responsibility for it. I, Xikong Zhaixing, will not be a scapegoat. Xikong Zhaixing's words are not inferior to anyone. In terms of Qinggong, Xikong Zhaixing belongs to the top group of people in the world. Among the people he knows, except Lu Xiaofeng, no one can be faster than him, which is why he often suffers at the hands of Lu Xiaofeng. Hey, miss, I think it's useless for you to quarrel like this. How about this, tell us what you lost and we'll look for it on him. If we find it, he's a thief. Then you can decide whether to kill him or cut him up. Otherwise, it's useless for you to confront each other like this for a whole day. Li Hao was disappointed when he saw that the two hadn't started fighting yet. He quickly stepped out to mediate. Chapter 69. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Who are you, kid? What's your business? I'm telling you, I'm a thief, and I stole this woman's silver bag. What's wrong, you have? A breeze blew by, and Xikong Zhaixing felt cold all over. Damn, I remember I stole the purse. How come I took out such a thing from my arms? Xikong Zhaixing is having a headache now, because just when he was talking about the excitement, he took out the silver bag from his arms. As a result, he found that what was in his arms was not a silver bag, but a piece of pink brocade cloth, with chrysanthemum patterns embroidered on it, which was quite nice to see. Xikong Zhaixing shrugged his nose. This large handkerchief smelled really good. Xikong Zhaixing sucked the fragrance on the large handkerchief, his face full of intoxication. But he didn't notice that the faces of the group of sword-wielding women opposite him turned dark. He is indeed a rapist. Disciples of Yihua Palace, listen to my order. Kill this rapist in front of you. Anyone who dares to help will be killed without mercy. Xikong Zhaixing didn't know what the giant handkerchief was, but the women of Yihua Palace knew it. Because everyone was wearing it, the material was basically the same, the only difference was the embroidery pattern and size. Yes, Palace Master. A group of Yihua Palace disciples drew their swords and stabbed Xikong Zhaixing without any hesitation, not to mention, Yihua Palace is worthy of being Yihua Palace. The disciples inside are all beautiful, and they are all young girls. With the white gauze palace skirt, the skirt corners fly when moving, and the long hair flutters. It feels like a fairy dancing with a sword. Outsiders think it looks good, but Xikong Zhaixing, who is trapped in the sword formation, doesn't think so. He is still wondering now, isn't it just a handkerchief? There is no need to fight desperately. If it weren't for his fast speed, he would have been stabbed with many holes on his body by these Yihua Palace disciples. Die, you lecher! Yingnu shouted, and stabbed Xikong Zhaixing's ankle with a long sword. However, because the two rabbits jumped up and down, she was affected in her performance. She lost her balance and stabbed the sword crookedly, and almost hurt the disciple of Yihua Palace who was helping her. Huh, bitch, don't force yourself if you can't do it. I can beat 10 people like you by myself. Xikong Zhaixing moved while humiliating the Yingnu sister. Damn, I have never seen such a shameless person. Ladies, Li Hao will help you. After saying that, Li Hao directly picked up a plate on the table next to him and threw it at Xikong Zhaixing's head. Bastard, stinky boy, I didn't expect you to be the kind of person who would kick someone when he is down. Very well, I took a purse from you today as interest. When I have time, I will steal all the money from your house. Xikong Zhaixing avoided the plate thrown by Li Hao and cursed. What? You stole my purse. My wife made it for me. If it's damaged, I won't forgive you. Li Hao pretended to reach out and took a handful of it, then said angrily, System, host, you graduated from Beijing Film Academy, right? This wretched expression and angry tone, if you can't win the grand prize, it proves that the judges took bribes. Li Hao, get lost, I'm really expressing my feelings. In his previous life, Li Hao had the experience of being stolen. After withdrawing the manuscript fee, in order to smell the ink fragrance of the banknotes, he went to the ATM to withdraw all of it at once. Then, there was nothing else, he didn't even know where he lost it, but the thief left a note in his pocket, which read, I followed you hard for a mile, and the result was only 100 yuan, you poor thing. At that time, Li Hao was furious. You stole 100 yuan. How much better are you than me? Woohoo. Huh, what if it's damaged? I'll throw your money bag into the toilet when I get out. Xikong Zhaixing laughed loudly, not realizing that he was in danger. Get out, do you think you can get out? What? Xikong Zhaixing was shocked. He felt his waist numb and couldn't move. Who are you? Tell me your name. I, Xikong Zhaixing, have been in the rivers and lakes for decades, hunting geese all day long. Unexpectedly, I was pecked in the eye by a wild goose. I guess you also replaced the silver bag. Xikong Zhaixing said calmly. What did you say? I don't know. I was just a little faster, and I was provoked by you to perform beyond my normal level and caught up with you. Li Hao would naturally not admit that he had replaced the silver bag of Yingnu. If he did, he would probably be hunted down by everyone in Yihua Palace. You. Xikong Zhaixing was about to speak, but Li Hao pressed his mute point. Slut, what else do you have to say now? Xikong Zhaixing touched her before, and then her clothes were taken off, and then she scolded herself, took out the dirt from her arms, and even made a vulgar move like smelling the fragrance. S action, in Yingnu's mind, has already labeled him as a dead man, but as for how to die, she has not yet decided. Xikong Zhaixing's mute point was pressed, and he could no longer say a word, but even if he could speak to explain, Yingnu probably wouldn't listen to him. Yingnu ignored Xikong Zhaixing. She used the tip of her long sword to pick up Xiaoyi from Xikong Zhaixing's arms, and then swung the long sword, and Xiaoyi instantly turned into pieces. Then Yingnu pointed her long sword at Xikong Zhaixing, her face full of frost, and she said nothing, obviously thinking about how to deal with him. You lecherous thief, the greatest evil, I will spare your life today, but the death penalty can be spared, but the living crime cannot escape. I will give you a small punishment and a big warning, so that you can't do bad things in the future. After saying that, Yingnu showed a cruel look on his face. Swish, 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 a few cold lights flashed. Yingnu sheathed the sword, and then returned to Lianqing's back. Woo woo. Xikong Zhaixing's face was full of ferocity and pain. Li Hao looked at Ingnu's method, and his back was cold. He didn't expect this beautiful girl to be so vicious. Even the Yihua Palace disciples next to him didn't say a word. It seems that they are already used to this kind of thing. How is it, do you feel okay? Looking at Xikong Zhaixing, who collapsed on the ground because of the loss of support, Li Hao quickly untied his acupuncture points and asked. Boy, I fell into your hands this time because I am not as skilled as you, but I will repay you for today's humiliation in the future. Xikong Zhaixing endured the physical trauma and said word by word. Today I can stuff someone else's bellyband into your arms, and tomorrow I can stuff poison into your mouth. So, you'd better not mess with me. Because I am someone you can't afford to mess with. Li Hao patted Xikong Zhaixing's shoulder, laughed and hugged Hua Yuenu and followed the Yihua Palace disciples into the room. For Li Hao, a person with 5 limbs disabled was not a threat to him. But in order to avoid unnecessary trouble in the future, Li Hao left a cowhair needle in Xikong Zhaixing's body. When the cowhair needle flows through the chest along with the blood, Xikong Zhaixing will die. Chapter 70. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Young Master Li, thank you so much just now. If you hadn't stopped Xikong Zhaixing, Ingnu and the others would still be far from being the opponents of Grandmaster Xikong Zhaixing. Lianxing thanked Li Wuke while teasing him. Lianxing didn't know why, but she liked Li Wuke very much, and she felt just average about Li Xiaoyu. It's okay, it's okay. Anyone can punish a pervert who relies on his martial arts to steal girls' underwear. Since I, Li Hao, have encountered him, I won't let him continue to do evil again. Li Hao acted indignant. The disciples of Yihua Palace nearby saw Li Hao's serious look, and they felt like a kitten's claws were scratching their hearts. He was so handsome, and they were fans of him. Huayuanu, Xikong Zhaixing is a thief. Although he has a bad character, there has never been a rumor that he molested women. Besides, Miaoshou Kongkong doesn't have the ability to steal Ingnu's underwear. Whether this small dress was stolen by Xikong Zhaixing or framed by someone else, it is still to be investigated. Young Master Li, thank you so much just now. Thanks to you, Ingnu. Ingnu bowed to Li Hao as a token of gratitude. You're welcome. Your palace master Lianxing and Miss Yaoyue and I hit it off at first sight. It's my duty to help you. Hee hee. Li Hao felt a little embarrassed when he saw Ingnu thanking him. In fact, with Li Hao's strength, the 2 great skills were used at the same time, and Ingnu would not have noticed that the small dress was stolen. It's just that Li Hao's hands were itchy, and his fingertips accidentally touched the cherry. Xikong Zhaixing, you obviously did it on purpose, and you said it was an accident, you despicable villain. Palace Master Lianxing, you like Li Wuke so much, why don't you recognize him as your son? You are his godmother. When Hua Xingnu next to him heard Li Hao's words hit it off at first sight, he immediately thought of the matter of recognizing a godparent. This is not right. If the palace master Lianxing is not married yet and she is adopting a godparent. Hua Yuenu covered her mouth before she finished speaking. Damn, she almost forgot her identity. Fortunately, her husband's disguise and voice-changing pills are magical, and they can't recognize her when she talks to them in front of them. What's wrong with not being married yet? Who dares to gossip about what Lianxing is going to do? Remember, Li Wuke is my Lianxing's godchild from today, do you understand? If anyone dares to bully him, you can beat him back. Lianxing hugged Li Wuke and said domineeringly. Yes, Palace Master Lianxing. A group of Yihua Palace disciples bowed to Lianxing and Li Wuke. Damn, he is worthy of being the son of destiny. After going around, Li Wuke has connected with Yihua Palace again, and this time the relationship is closer than being a disciple of Yaoyue Lianxing, but I am Li Wuke's father, and Lianxing is her godmother. Biological father and godmother, biological father and godmother. Li Hao's thoughts began to become evil. Young Master Li, do you disagree? Lianxing looked at Li Hao, who was daydreaming, and asked doubtfully. Agree, how can I disagree? I am the child's father and you are the child's mother. I am so happy. After Li Hao finished speaking, he felt that something was wrong. Forget it, don't think about things that you can't figure out. Bah, you lecher, who is the child's mother? I am the godmother, 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 important things are said 3 times. Lian Xing blushed with shame. She was very smart since she was a child, and she heard the loopholes in Li Hao's words at once. Although they are all children of the rivers and lakes and don't pay much attention to details, she is still an unmarried girl after all, and her face is still very tender, although this girl is considered old in this era, compared with the older leftover women in later generations. Hello, godmother, hello. Li Hao smiled awkwardly. Although he liked 4 tones, he still used 1 tone for the sake of family harmony. That's about right. I will be Wuck's mother in the future. Do. Lianqing stretched out her little hand to tease Li Wuck's little hand. Mother, why do you always wear gloves on your hands? Li Hao saw Lianqing wearing silk gloves on her left hand and couldn't help asking. He regretted it after asking, because he remembered that the book said that when Lianqing was picking peaches as a child, she was ambushed and fell from the tree. Her left hand and left foot were injured and became deformed. This is also the reason why she never married in her life. Inferiority complex. Our Lianqing palace master had an injury on her left hand when she was a child, so. Hua Xingnu heard the question asked by Li Hao and immediately answered for Lianqing. Everyone in Yihua Palace knew about this matter, but no one mentioned it, for fear of causing Lianqing's sad past. You are injured, mother of the child. I am Li Hao, but I have been familiar with medical books since I was a child and have certain experience in the art of medicine. How about I help check you and see if you can be cured? Li Hao said generously. System, looks are a thing. If another man was dying in front of you, I guess you wouldn't even look at him. Thank you for your kindness, Mr. Li. Since I was injured, the palace has hired many famous doctors for me, but they are all willing but unable to do anything. After so many years, I have gotten used to it. Hua Xingnu was about to speak when Lian Xing stopped him. Talk about your own affairs. This is not something shameful. Mother, let's not talk about anything else. I have a lot of experience in bone damage, tendons, and muscle atrophy. I am not bragging. I am second to none in the treatment of this problem. No one in the world dares to claim to be the first. Li Hao patted his chest and said confidently. Young Master Li, there's really no need. Palace Master Lianqing, why don't we let young Master Li take a look? You are the godmother of Master Wuck, and you and young Master Li are considered a family. Since he has said so, he must have his way. Besides, even if he has no way, it's no loss for us. It's been so many years anyway. Before Lianqing finished speaking, Hua Xingnu interrupted. She and Lianqing grew up together, and they were like sisters, so naturally she was particularly concerned about Lianqing's affairs. Then. I'll try. Young Master Li, please. Lianqing bowed sideways. No trouble, and we are all a family. Calling me young Master Li is a bit awkward. Calling me Li Hao or my nickname Haozi is also fine. Li Hao said. He kept saying that he and Lianqing were a family. System, shameless. If you don't hit her, the task is not completed. Don't try to bug me. Then I'll call you Li Lang. Lianqing's pretty face flushed. This was the first time she had been flirted with by a man, and in front of so many people. How shameful. Waiter, is the room ready? My child's mother and I need it right away. Li Hao shouted in the hall. It was still better in ancient times, when you could openly take a woman other than your wife to a room without being condemned by public opinion.